Hello planner friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining. If you're new to my channel, I record videos about all of my various planner experiments and adventures, and occasionally an adventure out in the mountains of North Georgia where I live. But today we're talking about planners. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you may have seen in my last couple of videos that I was trying out a pocket rings planner. This is a Filofax Malden pocket, and I was using field note size inserts. So they were 3.5 by 5.5, and I was trying them in this pocket rings, which it was all Sam's fault from Sam's Plans, but I was having fun trying it out. And my last video, I told you that I just didn't think this was going to work, and I was actually really sad about it because I like the size and the portability of the pocket, but I just couldn't seem to feel comfortable in it. And so I was planning to go back into Matilda, which is my personal rings. This is a personal Moterm that I'm currently using. And so as of the last video, that was my plan. I was putting the pocket rings away, going back into the personal rings, and was pretty content doing that. But I just kept thinking two things. One, that I didn't really give this a fair shot, and two, it's just so much bigger and bulkier when you're sticking it in your purse. And I think part of what precipitated what I'm about to show you is that yesterday I went shopping with my daughter, my youngest daughter, and we were doing some dorm shopping for her freshman year of college next fall. And I have all of her college information and dorm stuff in my planner. And this was just big and bulky to be carrying around when we were shopping. And yeah, I could have taken the page out, but then it would have gotten all wrinkled up and everything in my purse. And all I could think about yesterday while we were shopping was if I had the pocket rings, it would be so much lighter and so much smaller in terms of carrying. So I woke up this morning thinking I really just wanted to give this another chance and give it another go. But the thing about this Filofax with the field note size inserts, I'm going to move Matilda out of the way, is that the pages were literally right to the top and right to the side and right to the bottom. And there just wasn't a lot of room for a pen or anything. And the rings are really small. So I was just working with some size constraints. Now, yes, I could use pocket size pages in here and they would fit as they were intended, and probably part of the issue that I had wouldn't be an issue. But pocket size pages are just so tiny. I've never been able to contemplate making them work no matter how much I want to. I think my handwriting is just too big. So I wanted to stay with the field note size inserts, but I wanted to try something different in terms of a cover. And I had I had purchased this Moterm pocket from the Buy Sell Trade group. So this is a used Moterm that somebody else had. And when I first got it, it had such a strong perfume smell that I just couldn't use it. I had to leave it sitting out for, well, over a week before the smell dissipated enough that I could stand it. And so I was thinking I was probably just going to resell it and just count it as a loss. But yesterday, when I started thinking about maybe trying pocket out again, and this morning when I was getting serious about contemplating it, I thought, you know, I think this is a little bit bigger, and it is slightly bigger, wider than the Filofax, and maybe I could make it work. And you'll see that I actually have a pin in the pin loop, and nothing is bunched up against the dividers that I have in here. And so I decided I wanted to give this another try. And I mentioned in my last video that there were a couple of things about the pocket that were making me think I wanted to move out. One of which was the fact that I was having the issue with the pen, which I talked specifically about. But then I got distracted and never went into the other things that were bothering me about using a pocket. So I've been kind of thinking about those and how I could overcome the issues that I was feeling. One of those was that because I'm using a non-standard ring size, right? I'm using this field note size. I didn't have any dividers. I didn't have any page markers. I didn't have the things that I'm used to in Matilda in terms of these, you know, page markers and things like this to help me quickly find my page. And so that was one thing that was really bugging me about this, is I just didn't have an easy way to do it. And so I said to myself, rather than being annoyed by it, why not figure out how to overcome it? So I've ordered some tabs, actually custom ordered some from a shop that she's making field note size for me, and I'm looking forward to getting those, but I don't know how long it'll take to get them, especially because it's a custom order. And so I felt like until I had that type of a setup, I was never going to be happy in the pocket size, and I didn't want to wait. So I sat down this morning, pulled out my laminator, and started to work. And I thought, I'm just going to do some lamination, clear lamination, and make my own dividers. And even if they're rough, they will get me through until the custom ones I ordered came. Well, here's the first one I did, and I don't know if you can see the, yeah, you can. You see all the little bubbles? So that was a hot mess. And I was like, okay, there's one thing about, you know, doing your own thing, but there's another thing about having all these bubbles, and I just didn't know if I could handle it. My oldest daughter came home from college to have lunch with us today, and she came in and she was like, Mom, that just looks awful. And I said, I know. And she said, I think you need a new laminator. And I think she's right. So I may have to invest in a new laminator. But anyway, this will work for right now for a cover page. And the fact that you can't really see the bubbles against this pattern paper behind it makes me slightly less annoyed. So I did that, and I also printed one, or made one, and these stickers were part of a freebie from a sticker order that I placed. I'll try to list the shop down below. I don't know the name off the top of my head. And this was another sticker, and so I did this one, and you can, I don't know if you can tell, but it also had even worse bubbles. But I thought, it's a back page, and against this white, you really can't see it, so we're gonna leave it and call it done for right now. All of this to say, I have a lot of respect for those of you who have shops who make dividers and tabs and things like this, because this is not as easy as you think it is. I was just like, oh, I'm just going to whip out my laminate and I'm going to do this, and I can do it. I don't have to pay to buy any. Yeah, well, there's a reason why they have shops to do that, because yeah, it was not as easy as it looks. I think if I had some 10 mil laminate, it probably would be better too. This was just 5 mil laminate, so it was not as it's, you know, it's pretty floppy. Anyway, all of that to say, this will work for right now, but I'm really happy that I have the order coming in and looking forward to getting those. But then I started thinking about what else did I need, and I really like to have a page marker for my month, for my week, for my day, because I use all of those frequently. I like a page marker for my shopping list and for our finances, and then other project related things. So I started thinking about, again, shopping my stash. What did I have? And I remembered that I had bought a 20 bajillion of these for the kids when they were in elementary school and middle school, and they had to have 3 ring binders for classes with these dividers. And so I went to the basement and I dug up a box of these, or package of these, that I had purchased years ago. And I got my trimmer out and I started just whacking them up. So this is 8.5 by 11. And so I was able to get 3, if this was the 8.5, this is the 11. If you cut it this way, you can get 3 per one divider. And so this was the gray one. I wanted to try to stick to the neutral, you know, as much as I could. So I took the gray one and I cut it up, and this is one that I put my own custom sticker on here that says shopping, and I put the last of the freebie clear stickers that I had on there. And so this is my page marker for shopping. Now, it's super floppy and super flexible, but it's also super thin, so it's not adding a lot of bulk to my planner, and I kind of like that, the fact that it's not adding a lot of bulk. I wish it wasn't gray, but it's better than being, you know, neon yellow or something like that. The other thing that I did is I created this one that says month, so it's got a sticker on it. This was the one out of this package. There was one that was clear. And so the clear one, like I said, I was able to get 3. So here's the month one. Now the corners are not rounded very pretty, and you know, it's obvious that it's homemade, but I don't care. For the time being, this will work. And then the week one, I cut a little too wide and a little too short. Again, I'm going to live with it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to use it. I know now that when I put my hand in here, this one that sticks out a little further, that's the week. So actually, I kind of like it. And I may put a sticker on the side here that says week, like I have here at the top. But I like the fact that it's clear and I can see everything. As same with the monthly one, I like that it's clear and it's not obstructing my view, and it's quick and easy access. The today one is the third piece, and that was the piece that had the tab. And I thought that was probably the best place to put it, the reinforced tab, because of the fact that it's the daily that I'm going to be flipping to the most frequently. And this was one of the things I missed the most was in my personal rings and in my A6 rings, I have this, this Today marker from Cloth and Paper, and I really, really like it. And I wanted to have the same thing in the pocket. So that's what I was trying to replicate here. I have even thought about potentially ordering an A6 or personal one from Cloth and Paper and just trimming it and punching it myself, and I may do that. Haven't decided yet. But so that's the third or fourth one that I made. And then I was experimenting with the red plastic. That was the first one I experimented with, and I just decided to use it and stick it in the back. So this is where my daughter's dorm shopping is, and I figured red could indicate whatever the current project is that I'm working on, if I've got notes for a project. So, you know, if it's a house renovation or moving my daughter into her dorm or whatever it is, the red will always be the most recent or most active project. The other thing that I did, and you'll see across the top here, is that I used some of the white Post-it notes and some clear sticker paper, and I made some tabs, top tabs for the sub. So within the me and the family, I made these top tabs. So I've got social and health for the me area, and those are just the top, the white Post-it note tabs with clear sticker on them. And then in the family, I've got Rob, that's my husband, plans for our Disney trip. I've got my daughter's dorm, house projects, and then kids, which would be anything related to either one of the girls, just in general. So adding these tabs and adding these 3 here has really made me very happy. And I'm thinking that having this extra functionality will make this planner something that I reach for more and more and want to use. The third thing that was bugging me about this was writing and the space. So when you're in the personal in your writing, you know, you have a lot more page for your hand to rest on when you're writing. Even when you get down to the bottom, it's not, I don't know, it just doesn't feel quite as awkward because it's so big. This one, because it's so small, I feel like my hands bump up against the rings more, and there's less room to write. And I've just decided to get around that. I'm just going to pull my pages out when I start to struggle with that feeling and write on a flat surface and then pop my pages back in the rings. When I was using the A6, I struggled with that some, and a couple of months when I was in the A6, I would just slit the pages, and that way it was easy to pull them in and out. The only bad thing about slitting the pages is that when you go to archive things, they tend to slip off the archive rings as well because they're slit. So I'm trying to avoid slitting the pages, but I feel like that's a fallback if I can't, you know, just keep popping them in and out. The only negative thing I have to say about this particular Moterm planner is the ring right here is, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little, it sticks up a little bit. This third one down does, and these two, they're not perfectly aligned. So when I'm flipping, things stick sometimes. I'm thinking if I decide to stay in this, I'll probably order a replacement set of rings from Moterm. But I wanted to wait and see if I was actually going to use this before I spent any more money on the pocket size. So Friday I told you I was going back to Matilda. Sunday I'm telling you I'm going to try the pocket one more time. I'm going to give it another shot. I'm going to see how, if I can really make it work, because I feel like I didn't give it a fair shot. But I didn't even use it a week before I threw in the towel and gave up. So I'm going to try to use it through the end of March as I have it set up now with my makeshift dividers, and I'm hoping that the ones that I ordered will come in, and we'll see how it goes and if I like it, and if so, then I will print out April and continue to use it, and if not, then I'll go back into Matilda. But the nice thing is that this is small. It is chunky now that I've added all these project related things and all, but that was one of the things that was bugging me, is I didn't have everything in one place. And I'm a one planner girl. I don't like to have one planner for one thing and one planner for another. I know some people do, and I applaud you for being able to segment things and compartmentalize that way. I just can't do that. That's not how my mind works. And so I needed everything in one place. And I think that was one of the things I was struggling with, was I had only the bare essentials in here. And then I was still having to reach for Matilda for all the other things that I had in the back. So I sat down for a little while today and transcribed things from Matilda onto the smaller size paper, which is what precipitated all these tabs. But I feel like now that I've done that, I've set myself up for success. Will this be successful? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, but we will see, and I will bring you along for the ride. I will continue to check in and let you know whether it is the pocket or Matilda that I'm using. And as I get the new tabs that I ordered in, I will share those with you as well. So thank you so much for stopping by, for watching the video. Thanks for coming along on the crazy ride with me, and I'll keep you posted. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day and keep on planning. Bye, everybody.